Hey y'all, welcome to episode, where are we at? 8 of Support Black Business TV. So hashtag HSBB TV. Today we're gonna talk to Joel uh, Joe Wilson out of Philadelphia about his technology business. And we got a couple questions. It's going to be a good one. He's been a good member of Black Folk Hotspots for some time now. So um, anyway, what I'm going to do is, hopefully you guys checked out the video yesterday with Tamora on the health and wellness. If not, definitely give her a call. I mean, definitely check it out. Go into youtube.com/BFHS network, BFHS network. You'll see it in the description below of the event, or if you're watching this on YouTube. And basically, she has some really good things to say about the business she's in, and some of the things that you should know about her business. Really enjoyed that interview yesterday. Let me try to get Joel on the line here. Just in case, let me see here. Okay, get that. Okay. Let's see here. Bear with me. We're still gonna get this. We're gonna get this down pat. Down pat. Sooner or later. What am I looking for? The number. Let's see here. Thought maybe see if he'll be able to jump on a call, jump on live. Sometimes they can't. And then I had some technical difficulties. Computer technology glitches. But we're on now. Check out our other videos. Make sure you also look in the description and support us by buying a t-shirt to say support Black business.
JCW Computer Consulting, how may I help you?
Can I speak to Joel, please?
He's not currently available. I can take a message for a callback.
Tell him Ryan Hodge. Is he in the office?
I'm honestly not sure right now.
Okay. Because I had a appointment. I had an appointment with him at this time. So, and I don't know if we're dodging each other or not. But if you can hit, I thought this was a cell phone number, but I know I have it. If you can do me a favor, give him a call on the cell phone and have him call Ryan Hodge with Black Folk Hotspots.
Okay, what's your phone number, please?
219-512-9910.
I'll ask him to give you a call as soon as possible, okay?
Yeah, he's supposed to be meeting with me right now. So. Okay.
I'll just write out to him.
Okay. Yeah. Technical glitches. Let me check the email real quick, just in case, email. But anyway, how are you guys doing today? Hope you guys are doing pretty good. What do you guys think about the current events? So you got this Sandra Bland thing going on down in Texas. You got another mass shooter down in Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. It's crazy. I mean, we just went through that last week, or just I guess people are. It's just crazy. This world. Okay, got a message here. so he's checking it out. But let me see. I'm gonna do a call. Oh, okay, cool. Let me give him this number. We just have to do this.
Hello.
Joe.
Yes.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Ryan Hodge with Black Folk Hotspots.
Yes, I was tuned in on through Google Hangouts. Wasn't exactly sure how we were getting connected.
You couldn't.
So
could you?
I can't join on Google Hangouts.
What is it saying when you try to join?
Let me right now. Because this looks different than whenever I've used Google Hangouts before. So I'm like on your homepage. Yeah. I'm doing well. Are you on a computer then?
Hey. All right. Joe had the screen up, so yeah, this is technical. This is live, so it happens, and this is how we persevere. So a lot of times we look at things.
Yeah. Okay.
Joe,
I'm just cutting my mic off on my computer because it was such a delay. It was throwing me off.
Yeah. That's yeah. Let me see here. Let me see if I can. You got your email open?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you got the invite. Let me see. To join. You know what? Let me try. I'm gonna send you. I think I got your. I know. I'm pretty sure I got your email saved in there somewhere. Hold on, Joel. Let me mute this real quick, and then I'm gonna send you 2 links. Let me know if well, hopefully you can be able to connect live. What are you using? Are you using Android or are you using the iPhone?
On the phone, I'm using Android.
Okay, it should.
I'm sitting in front of my PC.
Okay, because you know what? It should have. Well, yeah, on that too. Let's see. Try this. Man, you know what? I'm gonna get this down pat sooner or later. But we got other options too. We could just do it by phone like this, and it works just as well. And then later on down the line, we could do something totally different. Just shot that email to you.
Yeah, the phone is fine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Well, since we got Joe here online, Joe, how much time do I have? I know that we said 15 minutes. Do I have a few more minutes or?
Yeah, a few more minutes is fine.
Okay. So basically what we want to, one of the things that we want to do at Black Folk Hotspots, we want to start highlighting Black business owners around the country. And obviously at Black Folk Hotspots, we have over 2,100 Black business owners. And Joe Wilson out of Philadelphia is one of them. And he's been with us for a couple years now. I want to say, I don't know how long it's been, but I know it's been at least a couple years. And very valuable member. Not only that, but he does something that a lot of people I don't think that we really realize, and that's Black people in technology. And number one, that's a huge field. That's a field that I was in once. And when I look at the flow charts to a lot of these tech companies out here, that flow chart does not have anyone who looks like us in them. And so I highly respect anyone, any Black person that's going into the technology field. And I actually tell a lot of people that that's something they should look at, moving their kids towards: coding, software, all different types of things, even networking and things like that. But I'm gonna let Joe tell you a little bit about what he does, how he got there, and where he is today. So it's up to you. Go, Joe. You got the floor.
Ryan, well, thank you. What I would like to do is just is to pick up where you left off with,
Okay.
We call it a technology industry pipeline, because that is a new initiative we created. It's we call it Tech Core 2, and the Core, CORE squared, that stands for computers plus opportunity plus resources equals employment times entrepreneurship. So we've kicked off our inaugural program this summer, teaching the CompTIA A+ computer hardware curriculum. We have 8 students signed up, and they are at the midway point. And it's a great program, and it's way more than just teaching technology. So, we are throwing a rigor at them, making their brain explode, learning all the new terms and whatnot. But beyond that, like yesterday, we did a workshop called The Real Millionaires, the illusion versus the reality. And what we did, we took the recent news article on 50 Cent, who went bankrupt, and combined it with a lot of information coming from the book The Millionaire Next Door. There's an MC out named D1 who has a great video, and he's talking about 50 Cent and Jay-Z and Lil Wayne, and it was just like all these things were culminating to a great message for the young folks, for them to really see that a lot of what they're seeing, this reality TV and the way hip hop has gone, it is fake. It is not real. And there are substantive things like technology that you can put your time into. There's even a great little short clip that Chris Rock did. Someone took of him, and Chris Rock is talking about the 4 prominent African Americans that live in his neighborhood. All of them are either athletes or entertainers or something like that. But then there's just a white dentist who lives next door. So you don't have to be an athlete or entertainer to have a great life in America. It's about being properly developed. It's about, in a lot of cases, it's about being an entrepreneur. And in all cases, you have to invest and save your money, which means you can't be at the club, you can't be, making it rain all the time, pouring, Moet out. We have to be wise with the resources and things we have. So it's just a great program. I have a lot of fun with it, and the kids are learning, and it's empowering. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And we have a Facebook page specifically for Tech Core. So if you went to facebook.com/TechCore2, you could do a search on Tech Core 2, and it's coming up. And we actually have a golf outing that we're going to on August 11th. And what is really nice about this particular golf, and it's actually to a golfing range, it's called the Hit Zone. They have a golf driving range. They also have batting cages. This establishment we're going to on August 11th is actually a Black-owned driving range. So it's one of the things we try to do is not just talk the talk, but actually support Black businesses ourselves. And probably 90% of the money that was spent to run this program this summer is actually going back to other Black businesses.
I like that. And that's that, what, I saw that. And that's a, what, all these interviews that I've been doing lately, I'm finding out different tidbits. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do that, was because of that, number one. And then, number two, I just found out about another Black business.
Yeah, the Hit Zone, hitzone.org. Check them out. It's 2 two owners. One gentleman has a background in like finance, insurance, and the other gentleman is an attorney. And they're relatively young here in Philadelphia, and you know, doing some great things. So one of the things I just try to do as a resident citizen of Philly is to find different businesses and support, you know, quality businesses, just like every other ethnic group does. If you read The Millionaire Next Door, you know, all these communities just totally recycle their money. There's a great TED Talk, the woman Maggie Anderson.
Yeah.
Great TED Talk. And, you know, she just outlines how all these ethnic groups just, you know, they disproportionately support their own, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we just need to do, you know, do the same.
We sure do. And that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons why I created Black Folk Hotspots. And that's, yeah, Maggie, that was, it wasn't based off of Maggie, but it was, that was something that I saw afterwards. And, you know, me being from the Chicagoland area, from Gary, Indiana, so I'm close right there. So that was something that was picked up on fairly quickly. But yeah, see, and that's what we're supposed to be doing, you know. And it's funny because yesterday, I'm actually opening up. I actually posted both of those, her TED Talks that I found on Black Folk Hotspots. I had posted those. I posted one this year in January, and we posted. I know he's not the same one. No, it's two different ones. So January this year, we ran across. So I think she might have just done it, but that's good because now I'm about to share this and put this back into rotation too, because it's time, and that's something, man. That's huge. Now, what gave you? I mean, I know that you were in the technology side of things. So you do networking. Is that what you do exactly?
Well, we do core technologies. So core technologies are going to deal with, you know, anything hardware, operating systems. So yes, networking, wireless networking. I'm proud to say that we are now a Ruckus Wireless Big Dog partner, which provides high rate wireless. That's the wireless that runs at 1 gigabyte and above. They have these specialized access points that don't just simply bounce signals all around the room. It actually locates the device that it needs to communicate with and sends the packet straight to that device. So you get such a speed up running through a Ruckus network, and the access points are very robust, very scalable. So you can easily put 50 to 100 devices attached to one access point. So it's just a great product. And just sort of segueing into the school area, because we do a significant amount of IT work in schools, specifically charter schools here in Philadelphia. With Ruckus, Ruckus is a product that is allowable under the new E-rate. E-rate, which is the federal funds to support schools, it no longer supports hard wiring of schools with like Cat 5 or Cat 16. So if, however, it's not trying to stop folks from getting on the internet or the, you know, the high-speed information highway. It's just trying to allow it in a different, smarter, more cost-effective way. And that more cost-effective way is using high-rate wireless. And Ruckus currently is the #1 provider of high-rate wireless.
Because in my knowledge base, wasn't it that wireless wasn't moving as fast as having, you know, the Cat 5 wires running? Is that what it was in the past?
Correct. When wireless first started out, well, you know, standard Cat 5 that runs across your floor is 100 megabits per second. So when wireless first started out, it was running at like 2 megabits per second. And then it had little jumps, 5 and then a 10 and a 20. Wired cabling jumped to gigabit Ethernet, which is 1,000 megabits. So wireless now runs at 1,000 megabits or faster. So that's an incredible speed, and it's wireless. And not only that, there were new protocols that were built, or security protocols that were built for wireless, which actually gives it a superior security than standard Ethernet cabling, unless you have some other specialized equipment. So with all these new features, it being so fast and the security has been really upgraded, it just made it a no-brainer that, hey, schools need to move this way, because it's far cheaper to, maybe deploy 10 or 20 access points in a school versus dropping 500 lines. It's a big cost difference.
I was just about to say it's probably cost effective too, like nobody's business.
Yeah, I mean, you're saving, a school can, it's like 80% cheaper than how you used to wire a school.
Now,
using high rate wireless.
Okay. And so I also wanted to discuss, because and maybe I'm wrong, or maybe that's just, a little, so correct me if I am. So with your technology company, are you geared towards home, small business? Are you looking into, K through 12s? Do you have a distinct client that you go after?
Yes, and our clients fall into 4 categories currently. So they fall into 4, and those categories will include nonprofits, small to mid-sized businesses, charter schools or K-12 schools, and the last category is going to be the corporate supplier, and this is where the large corporations that we're selling products or doing services for. End users, home users, really is not our direct client currently, and so if we do get folks in their home, it's typically a referral, or they may work at a client that we're currently serving. So someone says, hey, my computer at home needs to be fixed or something like that. Can you help us out? So that's not our current client. However, we are trying to move into that direct consumer market, but we're not there. So the main way we would have to service folks off the direct consumer market would be via telephone. And the way things have shifted so much with online purchases and things, many people aren't, they just want to jump online and be able to buy. So we're trying to get there. I know we're not exactly there where a lot of our folks are at, but in business, a lot of times it's like moving a battleship. You can't do it too quickly. So we're trying to do it wisely. We have to keep mindful of who our clients are that actually pay the bills.
Yeah, right.
So,
True.
And so we're taking care of them and trying to build out. So we are going through some growth. We brought on some new staff over this summer. There's pipeline training program, and one of the things about this is that we're not just training kids like for the sake of training them. No, we're training them because we actually need more staff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I learned in reading A.G. Gaston, who's a multimillionaire who came up during the time of the civil rights movement in Alabama, and he really helped finance the civil rights movement down in that area. One of the things he did was he established a school, the Booker T. Washington School, and trained folks, because as his business grew, there weren't enough qualified folks he could hire. He needed like salespeople, he needed instructors, bank tellers. He had a very diversified amount of businesses. So I said, hey, you know what? We could do something similar. With all of the partnerships we have in technology, we are a Google Chrome console management provider. Google Chromebook.
Oh man, we got disconnected. I'm calling right back. We were just getting in the groove of that one. Technology, see. Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So, if you remember where you left off, if not, I can help you.
I was talking about the list of partnerships. Like we have a bunch of different partnerships. Lenovo and Acer, stuff with Google. So just a whole lot. So what we're doing is we, and to have those partnerships, one of the big things is training. Once you put your staff through training, so we're using those trainings to train our students and interns in the Tech Core 2 program. So we're really building a sort of a circle of life. We're helping young folks in our community. They in turn are helping us, and and it's going back and forth. So it's a pretty good arrangement.
Yes, it's a win-win situation, and you know what? We need more black faces in the technology sphere. I used to work for. I don't know if I had told you. I used to work for. Yeah, and yep, as account manager, and so I sold into healthcare spaces.
Okay.
And then so I did that for a couple of years, and I moved into medium large companies, and just knowing some of these things, and knowing some of these things that I had no clue about, I was like, wow. But it's fun. It's something very funny, and I always like to tell the story to my tech people. Like Acer. I was looking for a computer, and on the consumer side, and I'm doing all my research online and everything, and and then I said, okay, cool. I narrowed down to the specs I kind of wanted, and this, that, and the other. So I said, let me take a trip to Best Buy. And Best Buy, I stood there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, watched all these reps walk past me. Not one time did they ask, hey, can we help you? Right?
Wow.
And it really ticked me off, and I got like $1,500 in my pocket. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I'm ready to buy like right there. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to touch and feel, because when you're looking at a computer online, you can't always feel if it feels cheap. It may have a good price, but then it feels cheap. And so I want to touch them, kind of play with the lid a little bit, because I've had a computer where, over the course of time, my, the lid on my laptop would, it wouldn't stay up. And that was frustrating to me. So I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to kind of look at the hinges and see if it wasn't, make sure it wasn't the same ones. So anyway, I left Best Buy after I talked to the manager. And then I wrote a letter to him as well. But then I went and I bought, from Circuit City. But it's funny, but Acer had the same specs pretty much as this HP. And I had no clue what Acer was at the time. I'm like, I'm not, this thing gonna clonk out after 6 months. It's like $150, $200 cheaper. So I was like, well, dang, they got the same specs. Seems like you got a little bit better speaker system on it, this, that, and the other. And like in the first, I want to say 90 days, Acer rep comes by my desk, and he's giving me some, some slicks on some new products, or what they were, some specials. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, who are y'all? Right? And he goes to tell me, and I tell him the story too, right? And he just started laughing. He said, "You're not the only one that has told that story about Acer, pretty much about Acer." And he said, "Listen, man, foreign lands, everyone knows who Acer is. He was like, we just ventured into North America, and we make the parts for most of the HPs, the Apples, or this, that, the other. If you break open the laptop, you're gonna see all type of little processors and different, chips that we made." And I'm like, get the heck out of here. But that was pretty interesting. And and I've always, even then, because I want to try to save my customers money, because I've always felt like if I could save you a few dollars here, there's other products and services that you need that you can pick up instead of saying, hey, I can't afford both of those. So if I can save you, you know, X, $150 a computer or $100 a computer for something that's going to do the same thing. Now, I'm an HP person myself, but, you know, Acer was, you know, I just never, in the time when I needed a computer, the Acer, you know, it was, I usually got a better deal with the HP, you know, just, you know, from people I know or whatever. But yeah, another thing, you talked about the Chromebooks.
And we're also an HP partner. So just on that.
Yeah, I heard you say that as well. But Acer just kind of stuck. And then I want to talk to you a little bit. I want you to explain what's the for our educators is out there, for, you know, that's going to be watching this, or people who are basically looking for school systems. I know a lot of them, they probably already going to PO and they're already getting ready right now, where, you know, we're expecting the kids coming back to school. But what are the benefits of Chromebooks? Because that's something that a lot of people don't, you know, really understand exactly what a Chromebook is. But what's the benefits for, you know, these education or for kids or K through 12, besides the fact that Chromebooks have a really nice price?
Okay, and that's a really good question. So let me give you a few compelling reasons why Chromebooks are so great. So before we get to any of the nitty-gritty technology, I'm going to start with curriculum, because the whole reason the students are coming to school is to learn information. And what Google has done is they've made major investment into curriculum that is available through their I'll call it their ecosystem. So you have direct access into the curriculum. You can use their Google Apps infrastructure, which will give your school email. It will give your school drive storage, Google Hangouts that you're using right now. It will give them a calendaring. So you get all this stuff in the background. So you get all the infrastructure that makes this work. And then now with the Chromebook itself, which is simply a laptop, you're getting an alternative operating system, a Chrome operating system that has built-in virus protection, that has a very curtailed, slimmed-down control management right from the gate, but you can buy an enhancement for that called the Google Chrome Management Console, so that you can easily manage. Say you have 30 computers in your school, if you go, or you have 100 or 1,000. Now, from one web browser, one Google browser, you can manage all of those laptops. That's something that you can't do whether you're in the Microsoft environment, at least not, you know, just out the door, just off a browser. You're going to be making a whole lot more investment or on the Mac side. So you're getting a laptop that when you hit the power button, it is ready to go in 7 to 8 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds, and you're ready to go. All of the applications, excuse me, your spreadsheet, your word processor, your presentation, all of that stuff is built in and it's free. And your students have access to it while they're in school. They could go home. If your school has a one-to-one program, they'll take their Chromebook home with them. If they don't, they can simply log on with whatever computer they have to home and still get to their school information. Google has also developed something called Google Classroom. And with the Google Classroom, this is a tool that the teacher uses to manage the class. So they can manage all the assignments they give out. They can see in live time when people are turning stuff back in. You have built-in collaboration, so you can have students working on the same projects or building teams and working on different things together. So you just have so much stuff that comes along with it. And one of the things I'll even share with you, we've put together a pretty nice webinar that's in a presentation format. So if anyone who's listening to this or later comes on your platform, we can make that available so that will be out there and folks can take a look at it. And it's really good. And then the last issue is the price. So, Google Chromebooks are hovering around I'll say the sub $220 price depending on your quantity, it's going to go significantly lower. So for a school, it's just a way more cost-effective way. I'm actually working with the school now. Just looking at creating an AP program, advanced placement program, and it was cheaper to get the Chromebooks and use the curriculum, the public domain curriculum for books and stuff off of that versus buying the books. So it's a great, in some cases, life-changing education tool in many of our schools. So I highly encourage, whether you're a teacher or an administrator or you're at the district level, give Chromebooks a look, because it really can make a compelling difference in your school. And one of the stats that I learned about, and this is about a year ago now, is that when Chromebooks first came out, in 18 months, they captured 20% of the K-12 market share, which is a phenomenal feat. So it's not going anywhere. It's a great product. I actually I currently use multiple laptops, but Chromebook has made its way into what I carry. If I have to go into a meeting or something like that, they're nice and tiny. I have full access to my company's Google App platform. I love it. When I go out and do presentations now, that's what I bring along with me. So it's a great little tool.
Okay, and that brings me to just one quick question. If you can give one reason why a Chromebook over, say, iPad, because I think that
that's the easy one. I thought you were going to ask me something hard.
Right. But the reason why it's hard is, to a certain extent, is mindset. And people are like, oh, iPad, and I'm like, wait a minute, and this is just my personal, opinion. I'm a Google person, right? I don't have nothing Apple. Matter of fact, Apple is banned in my house. So when people come over, if they don't have chargers, they're in trouble.
That might be a nice T-shirt to make.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking Apple, because I would love to sell the product. But
yeah. Absolutely. Isn't that right? Right. I get it. But like my daughter I told her that she betrayed the family because she just bought the Apple's the iPhone 6, and I'm like,
okay,
you just betrayed me. We are Android. But I couldn't be mad, because at 14 years old, she spent her own money.
Okay.
So it wasn't my money. She spent her own money.
Right.
But she also, in about 6 months ago, she bought a MacBook.
Okay.
And with her own money, I'm like, wait a minute, huh? And it was funny, because she was like, Poppy, I did all my research, and I looked at the reviews and the things that I wanted to do with the computer, to make sure that it had all the specs, and this MacBook was fit all those things, and it was more. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, what is it that you can't do that you could do, on HP? And I know, like, a lot of the software that come with the Macs and this, that, and the other, especially on, like, media-wise,
If she's into music, if she's music, if she's, creating music or some video production, then absolutely. And even some, tapes layout type thing.
Yeah, I didn't even complain, man. I said, but I was just impressed that at 14, the way she presented the case and everything like that, and I was like, that's what's up, But I said, you're doing
something right. You in the midst of y'all doing something right, which is great. You want children to make informed decisions.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like she did. And I've been in the industry long enough. I mean, I've been doing this. I've been in the industry as a professional for 20-something years, but the reality is I've been in here 30 years, because I started out when I was 11. So, I have no blind allegiance to any of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? I remember when NetWare was the big king and everybody was down with NetWare. I remember when IBM was it. Well, IBM's not even making PCs anymore. So all these are just tools person, you know, we have to make a decision on what we're going to, you know, sell and support. In Apple, right now, we don't sell Apple, but we do have some clients that have it and will support the equipment from that standpoint. So, you know, that's how that is. But I do want to circle back to that original question, the difference between
perfect.
A Chromebook and an iPad. And really, the reason I said that that's not a hard question is because you picked two different types of computers. So you basically picked a laptop as a Chromebook, and then you picked the tablet, which is the iPad. And what makes that significant is that a tablet, truthfully, is not a creation device. It's a device that you basically look stuff up. So if you are a student, you're not going to be able to type the papers. You're not going to be able to do the coding to write programs, design websites. You can't do all of that on an iPad. The iPad is great for, hey, I'm looking up information that's already there. I can do research, but you can't really create. So from that standpoint, the Chromebook would be far superior than that. You'd be able to do so much more. But you know, to be fair, that's not the. If you were going to sort of have an apple to apple, that wouldn't be it. It would be more the Chromebook versus the MacBook. You know, that would be. But it is definitely far better. And even for schools, we had a big issue up here in Pennsylvania. I guess about 2 years ago, one of the suburban schools gave a lot of people iPads, and at least at that time, it had pretty bad management security, so that the students could pretty much do anything they wanted, and they were just going crazy on it.
I can imagine.
Had a very bad response and was tapping into people's cameras, and it became a legal issue. I don't know exactly how it resolved. I'm sure they got sued and probably had to pay some money. But with Chromebooks, what you get built in is you can control where the kids can go and what they can do. So you don't have to worry if they go home and going buck wild.
Right. Exactly.
So.
That's a good that answers that question. And I thought about that once I even asked that, and I was like, yeah, I would go with Chromebook versus a MacBook. But at the same time, I know that Apple has this stigma. Oh, we're gonna give it iPads, and it's sort of like, I think, like, people, depending on what part of the United States you live in, everything's a Coke, right? It doesn't matter if you're ordering a root beer, it's still a Coke. But that's cool. Now, and I'm gonna wrap up real soon for you. I just got like maybe two more, but definitely one more, because I always like to ask, how a person got into things, because a lot of times, when I'm talking to young people, when I'm talking to them, I'm like, hey, what is it that you want to do when you get older? And a lot of them, what I'm finding, especially a lot of these black boys, they, from my area, a lot of them have no clue. Or they'll have a clue, but then they don't know how, then I ask a follow-up question like, what do you need to do to become that? Right. And that's where it really stumps them. And I ask that mainly because of two things that has happened in my life. Number one, my mom used to make me and my sister, and I don't know if my little brother, but I'm pretty sure she did with him too, but he's 7 years younger than us. But she used to make us go to the library and get this occupational handbook that would list, it was this big, thick, super thick book that all these different industries and jobs and this, that, and the other, and they would list, the salary, the projected, salary, the projected amount of that we would need this industry or this, that, and the other, because a lot of times people don't realize you're going to school, you're focused on something, and you're going to get a degree in something that's highly saturated. So then you're going to be complaining because it's hard to get a job in it, or they don't need it no more. Right. Whereas, looking at the outlook, you'll see that, number one, I don't believe, you're in the industry, so you could tell me better. If you were talking to a young kid and they said they want to be in the technology industry. What area would you guide them towards?
I mean, if I was talking to a young person in Philly right now, first thing I would do is I would guide them to our site, because if you go on our Tech Core 2 site on Facebook, it just has a wealth of information. So right now in the industry, where I see there are jobs, definitely core infrastructure. So, that ties back to 8+ certification, Server Plus certification, Network Plus certification, MCSE certification. That ties into Cisco certification. So all those certifications. And then once you have at least some initial infrastructure, then you can move into some specialized. HP has individualized certifications. Ruckus has individualized. In almost every company. And there are plenty of jobs there. Those are the folks that are supporting small companies, large companies, making sure that the infrastructure works. I mean, we all take the internet for granted. There is, so many devices that, that need to work for your computer to just, seamlessly, go to, CNN.com, or for you to be able to watch the upcoming GOP debate. So there's a lot of stuff that needs to work, and there's jobs for that. There's all types of jobs. There's folks who have jobs to work on the ATM machine, because at some point they're tied back into computer systems. So there's a lot of jobs there. Coding. Coding is another area. If you look at Uber, someone had to program it. It's not someone, it's a bunch of people. Facebook, Google, all these, there's so many programming jobs that are out, both from large companies and small. So one of the things is we're launching a coding program, which is going to start in September. And it's going to be like 4 to 6 week sessions, different age brackets. We're going to start them down in kindergarten. So kindergarten and second grade, that'll be the parent and me course, where the parent will have to stay with the child. And then the other age brackets, 3rd grade to 5th. And then the next bracket will be 6th to 8th. And also high school implementation.
Man, you trying to run a smoke? You running a smoke shop over there? I mean, not a smoke shop, a sweatshop.
Hey man, listen, I'm trying to get our folks ready to compete globally.
No, because look,
everyone else does except us.
I'm sitting here like, I'm sitting here like, Joe, you got some huge going on, and those kids, I don't even think they might even realize it, but they're in the right position, and it sounds like with the right person, because I could see you doing hackathons in a couple years, and them developing products, and
it's really like if you look at Silicon Valley, what made Silicon Valley? If you go back and look at Xerox was like the big boy at the time, IBM was the big boy. You had Steve Jobs, you had Bill Gates, and some other programmers, and they created a culture, and so they were sharing information, they were socializing together, and they kept building on it, and they really built a new way for people to work and think and all this kind of stuff. So, in many respects, we're not really building those within our community. Yeah. Our community is starting at such a deficit, and the lack of having these incubator systems to help us learn technology is hurting us. And I've seen it. I've seen where it can be successful. When I grew up, I came through 2 programs that served as my incubator space at times. One was called Prime, which was a pre-engineering program when I was still in school, and also ASNA was part of that. And that gave me the skills, the confidence, and all that. For me to go on to college, I did major in computer science. So I'm just trying to build those things, leveraging my company, leveraging in such a way that we're doing it smart. We're developing folks that we can then use in our business that helps us make money, and we're not building it with ridiculous expense that makes it unsustainable. We're doing it in a way that it is sustainable. So and it's time that we do these type of things. So I'm really just borrowing from a lot of different things that I've seen over my years that work. So I'm just trying to build. It's the Frankenstein of computer training.
No, hey, you know what? And it's so funny, man, because that's what I post a lot of books about a lot of different things, right? And I look at like the stats of what people are either purchasing or because we're affiliate of Amazon, right?
Okay.
So I look at, but it's something that I know that we need. So I post books about Black history. I post books about successful Black business owners. I post because if I wouldn't have read the book of damn, I can't think of his name, but the one you talked about earlier from Montgomery, or from Mobile, I think he was from. Regardless, he basically financed Martin Luther King.
Exactly.
And a lot of people don't know that. He was the one that bailed Martin Luther King out when he went to jail. He would put up the bail money.
Yeah.
And what I try to tell people is,
in the movie Selma, when they did the march and they stayed on a farm, they stayed on his farm.
Yeah, okay, I didn't get that part, and it's funny because this is what I see in the lack of us in our community. Period. And correct me if you think I'm wrong or whatever. But reason why I love what you're doing is because you have the same principles as the people who were successful years and years that came before us. And if you could pick up their book, you're lowering or lowering your I guess the curve. You're shortening the gap and working with other people because you're working with schools and now you're working with the community. That's what we're supposed to be doing. And in the other communities, a lot of them do the same things, but we're not doing that, in my opinion, so much. Like I talked to business owners. I had an interview with a lady yesterday that does cosmetics and health and beauty type stuff, right? And how they had merged with another company, a male, they call it a brother company, that sold some, I want to say more, it was more diet type focus and weight loss type focus, rather. That's what I mean.
Okay.
And that was like a perfect marriage, and I'm like, I was like, why aren't clothing stores hooking up with shoe stores? You know what I mean? Why aren't, it's, I don't know, man. We have to help each other.
I think, and I believe I know where you're going, and there's a lot of discussion now on this in Philly, and it's basically about joint ventures and how do we come together more. And I think some of this stuff, as a people, we have a lot of real issues, and part of my thinking and my process, I studied African studies when I was in school, so I have 36 credit hours in African studies, which is the same number of credits for computer science. So I know, and then just working and being in business for 20 years now, dealing with folks, you can see, our people to this day, we're still hurting. We have a lot of disunity. You've heard about the Willie Lynch, and you can just see it play out in so many ways. Well, that stuff comes into business. And I think those things, they are, barriers or hindrances with us doing business. But I think we still got to make that extra effort. And that's what I try to do. I try to, create relationships and build things where you can, so that we can start getting some scale. And sometimes it's with folks who are directly in your, in your the lane of business that you're doing. Sometimes it's just other disciplines. So, I have great relationships with folks who are in the technology field, and then I have great relationships with folks who are just totally out. I have a good friend who has a catering business, another good friend that has a printing shop, another, my nephew actually owns a slew of Liberty Tax franchises. So, you try to build relationships where you can, and it helps you all out. And we got to keep doing that. I mean, we still are suffering from a lot of stuff that's happened, that's only happened to us. I mean, we have a very unique history in this country.
We do.
And I get very saddened when I see other people, other groups jumping on civil rights like their ancestors were lynched and raped and murdered just for the sake of the color of their skin. There's no one else in America that has that legacy except us. And yet other people are, really walking on our shoulders and getting major benefits. And that's the subject for another discussion.
It is, but like you said, those issues tie into business, and that's why I try to tell people that those things go hand in hand. A lot of it do, and we don't have to dive off into it, but just to briefly touch on it to give people the thought process. Let me go see, because why am I, I'm competitive, but I love my competitors. I want to see them succeed. You know what I mean? I want to. Hey, I don't want them to go out of business. I always look at it's enough out there for all of us. So I want to.
One thing I'll speak on just for
okay.
I guess about 60 seconds.
Okay.
So one of the challenges we had in the last few years was how are we going to handle our web development? I took stabs at doing it in-house, and it's one of those things. Web development, you really can't do it like on the part-time. You really got to commit personnel and resources. So when I looked at, what's our core competency, so that we can be focused, web development, the way we were doing it, it wasn't. And so I was wondering if I could develop a relationship with an African American firm. So I went in discussions with one firm, which happened to be local in Philly. They're very good firm, very good firm. But we just couldn't get the numbers and everything. We couldn't agree. But we're friends. We're still cool. We still speak at the same functions. And we're both in the African American Chamber of Commerce. But we couldn't fully do business together, and that's fine. So I had another friend who actually is an investor, who said, look, here's a gentleman, he's not in Philly, but I want you to meet him and talk to him. So we talked, and the guy does web development. We found out we had similar clients. We had very similar business styles, and we could agree on how we could mutually help each other out. So then we formed an agreement, and so we were able to bring web development services back into the firm. And so, I was glad about that. And it didn't happen overnight. That was probably overall like a 2-year process. So sometimes you got to be, if you have something in mind you want to do, just try to be true to yourself and do it. And we have to. I mean, we have to try to do that. Gives us more scale. And just in a short period of time, he was able to increase his reach for stuff locally in Philly that he couldn't do. We were able to expand services we're offering and also get into, selling into areas that we weren't. So, it was mutually beneficial. So, just got to try to do stuff like that.
And quick question: Have you grown your business grassroots, or have you taken on investor money?
Well, the way you pose the question up grassroots.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, I mean organically through selling the products and services and growing, selling the products and services versus somebody coming and dropping, you know, $1 million off and saying.
Yeah, and I understand those too, but there's other ways of financing. So you have loans.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Loans or credit lines and stuff like that. So we don't currently have any investors in the business, but we are looking at some bank financing for some of the stuff. But we've grown organically, to use your language. But one of the things I would say too that we've tapped into, marketing. It probably has taken me 5 years to really understand marketing and how it impacts my business, just to be honest with you. So, and I'm definitely not an expert, but I at least understand now. And so, one of the things I found was that a lot of folks will come up to you when you're in a business and marketing, and they really just want to sell you canned marketing stuff, what they do for other folks. They don't necessarily know your business.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've used several, different folks and systems, whatever. But I didn't understand that they didn't understand what we did. So, it didn't work out. But this year, we were approached by someone that really it falls into a different style of marketing, which is more of an government relations type marketing, which is when folks already have established relationships and leveraging what your company has done, and that has worked out far better for us
mm-hmm.
than any of the stuff we've done in the past. So at this point, I believe I don't know if every business is different, but you gotta at least know the unique way that your business operates and the type of marketing that you need, and being able to either do that marketing yourself or hire the right folks that can do that type of marketing for you. Because marketing is key, but not all marketing will help you. Because in our case, a lot of people would try to market for us, and it would just be like the consumer market.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's not our major client. So if I'm going to spend on marketing that targets consumer, it's going to be a lot different than my spend that's going to target charter schools or
absolutely right. So, and it's so funny that you say that, because that's what I say. I mean, I say that as well, and I try to get that. And I think that because I want to help people shorten that learning curve from A to Z, because if I can tell them something like you just did, the same thing, how to, things you have to, that you should be cognizant of, or that maybe you never even thought about. And I learned that working at a lot of corporate jobs that I worked, especially like CDW. I used to work in the mortgage industry, and that's where I would pick those things up. I worked in the casino, so I understood what colors meant in advertising and marketing. Different little things, different little clues. That it when you're running a business by yourself, or one or two people, you got to wear like every hat. And it's so you got to either make some alliances, and and that's how we kind of set Black Folk Hotspots up to work with that person who may not have that target. I mean, they do have a target, but they need something, because I think something is better than nothing, and just getting it out there. And one thing that I used to argue with my managers at CDW, because they used to always, kind of bitch at me, but I had $1 million earners in my, on my team. I had it was a team of 8. Out of 8 people, 4 of them made $500,000 or more on average.
Wow, that's very good.
and with the top one, making like 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. This is just sales, right? And they had my territory was South Carolina to West Virginia. And you know, and I'm looking, and I started looking, I'm like, okay, they're making all this money because they got these big companies, they got these health systems. And you gonna get to my point real quick. And I'm like, they got health systems. They've been in this company for 10 years. They got these companies are buying millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of products. Right. And then, they give me a little book of business, right? And we're supposed to grow it. Plus they give us some accounts and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, these guys been here. If these accounts was like blowing up, they would have them. Right. Yeah, they ain't about to say, hey, dog, here, I'm just thinking, here's this big regional medical center. You can have it. It's on me. Their spend is $100 million. You know what I mean? You're going to make, and I'm like, no. So I tried to create a niche. And that's what I've done in a lot of businesses. A lot of things I've done. Let's create a niche. And so I was working with consultants like yourself. Okay. Whereas now they have a person that has a direct relationship with a Cisco engineer. Okay. So, and I'm telling you, just in case you hadn't thought about this, Joel. And so what happened was, and it was rough at first because the consultants didn't understand how it was coming to them. Because they're like, well, and so I would say, look, let me be the voice. Just buy your products for me. You don't have to buy them all, but you're gonna need stuff. And you can call me up on your cell phone and you can be like, hey, I just left this doctor's office. It's 12 users, and I need this, and this. Can you send me a quote over? I said, man, you ain't gotta look up no parts, you ain't gotta look up nothing. That's like, and if you run into a networking issue and you can't figure it out, you can call me up. I'll connect you to my Cisco engineer that's top Cisco certified, whatever they call it, MCSC or whatever. And, and certified network engineer. Yeah, the top dude, the top cert rather, the big one, and he can work through your issues and tell you. And if it came to a point where it was something that you couldn't do, we could send somebody out. We'll build you and you just build your client. So you can scale from 1 user to 1,000 users overnight just using me. You just gotta go get the clients. I got the voice and data people. I got the telephone people. I got the software people. I got the data people. I got the storage people. All of it. Whatever you need, we got. And my managers would be like, no, dude, you need to be going after these users. But I was like, look, I don't know, Joe, we never talked about this before. I don't know how many of you had to, if you had to count with all your accounts, how many seats would you say you have? Approximately.
Probably about somewhere between 800 and 1,000 seats.
Exactly. And so when I would go to my manager, they bitching me out. And I'm like, but Joel has 800 to 1,000 seats. I'm only dealing with him. He is a medical facility. You see my point? Yeah. And the dude would be like, and they'd be like, I was just trying to create a niche because nobody was going after consultants. And my consultants, not all my consultants made money. They didn't upsell their hardware, right? Some did, some didn't. If they did, and they were honest with me, because I would ask them, hey, do you want to make a profit on do you make a profit on technology? Like, no, I just bill for my labor, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I would still give them a little bit better deal, and I would always work deals, but the ones that made a profit, I mean, I just make a deal with them. But like, hey, if it's $5 a markup in it, then I'm gonna take $250 and I'm gonna give you the other $250, and you can mark it up to your client. And man, these consultants start popping in. Bop, 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 bop. I was like, I got boots on the ground. So, and that was huge because I'm calling out of Chicago and I'm calling into South Carolina, and I'm like, you know, I don't even know. I don't have eyes and ears to see what's opening up as you would in Philly. So the consultant's like, hey, there's a new office complex, a new school going up. Let me see what I can bid on or get in there. You know what I mean? And that's how I made my money. With
so only one last thing I'd like to say that I am going to have to.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
You know, one of the needs we have, and I see this across many businesses, many Black businesses, is just the whole sales and business development. And you know, that's a need. That's one of our greatest needs, because right now I'm doing so much of our sales and business development, and I'm trying to change that. Actually, the gentleman coming in next week, I'll be talking with him. So it sounds like you've really developed a system, and that may be something that you know, I don't know if you do it now, but you know, you may want to offer that as some consultancy, helping folks develop their sales system.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I do that. But that's not, you know,
okay.
I do that. I consult business owners. I do, you know, seminars. I do speaking engagements, you know, but I made Black Folk Hotspots so any and everybody can get in. The goal is to get 1 million Black business owners linked and connected together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. That's the goal.
And what are you up to? Like, you passed 250,000, right?
Well, we got that as far as the network of people.
Okay.
But as far as Black business owners, it's 2,100.
Okay, gotcha.
And I haven't even pushed out, you know, it's just grown organically, grassroots. I haven't pushed out any big advertising yet. And because I didn't want to grow too fast and then not be able to deal with it. You know, I want to be able to still be nimble to make some changes and do some new things. And then I want to build out the right site. And from what I spec'd out, it's going to probably run me about 100 grand. So that's what we use. That's what we're using the monies and things like that, and the t-shirt sales and all this is trying to raise that money. Or finding a co-founder or founding a person who's into coding who can code it out, especially like we wanted, that got, you know, not to be, you know, funny, but that look like me.
Right. So, you know what? That may be a good conversation I'd like to have with you offline.
Yeah.
You know, I like to do that. But I want to thank you for this opportunity to come on and talk with the group. And I definitely will look for the link so I can, you know, integrate this into our social media platform. And let's just connect at another time. I would really like to go into that. I just got some things I need to wrap up.
No. I know we went way over. You can Joe, just tell people where they can get more information about you, where they can connect with you, how they can connect.
Okay, sure, absolutely. So you can reach JCW Computer Consulting online. Our website is jcwcc.com. That's jcwcc.com. Our office number is 215-879-6701. That's 215-879-6701. And if you just search for us on Facebook, either JCW Computer Consulting, or you can just put JCWCC and you'll hit us. And we would love to talk and see how we can help you out.
Cool, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. I really do. This is a great conversation. This is a great interview, and we can follow that. I'll talk to you. I'll hit you up, either shoot your text or shoot your email, and then we connect later.
All right, man. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. And yeah. All right, man. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for coming on. This has been my man Joe from Philadelphia. So thanks for watching, y'all. Make sure you go check out the other videos and create a profile, blackfolkhotspots.com, so that we can share and introduce your business, bring you on to do an interview like this, or candid talk, or, you know, whatever, for 15 minutes or maybe even more or less, depending on how much time you got. And then also the Support Black Business shirts. They're going to help us move to the next level. And I also believe that more black business owners should just have it on the back, and it's just a mind thing. It says something without even saying anything. So, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, combine these two with together. Joe, you can go ahead and cook off if you want, if you need to. Okay. I just want to wrap up with the little things, but anyway, you know, when we dealing with this issue with Sandra Bland in that Texas trooper or whatever. There's no words. Everything that she did was correct, except for signal of change and, you know, whatever. Now, I will admit, I haven't watched the full 45. I just haven't had time to watch the full 49, 50-minute, whatever, whole entire tape. But all the different clips I've seen, you know, I've seen it from a few different, I've seen the interactions. And, you know, the only thing I don't know is the interaction when he first walked up to the car and then went back. All I saw was the interaction with him basically coming back from the car to, from what I've seen, was the issue of warning, then the request for her to put out a cigarette, and then just from there it just went downhill because all she did was ask why, and she had all that right to do that. You know, and it's crazy. You know, it's been people to say that, hey, did Black Lives Matter get her killed? I mean, there's a wide open season right now. And there's a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of things are coming out, a lot of fear of black people, a lot of racism for whatever reason. But the majority of us are not bad, like me and like Joel and like Tamora and Candy from the other day. You know, we're black business owners. We're trying to make it. We're trying to do good things for our communities just like you are. But I know as a man, I might have to say, all right, dude, no problem. Let me put the square out. And then make sure you blow it the other way so it's not blowing smoke in his face. But, and then just get the ticket of warning and push on. And then write it up. Write him up. I would advise always turning on your audio or your video recorder, because video will record the audio. So regardless, you'll you know, if it's out of focus, you'll still be able to hear it. And if it is in focus, then people will get to see it. You know, I have a thing in my car on my vent, my middle vent for the AC or the heat that just sticks in, that I just pop one of my phones in. You know, I got an S4. I use this little, I don't know, Galaxy Light or something, for just little things. And I can have two. So if this battery's dead and this, and I mean, it's crazy that we got to even think about that, but we do. It's straight up. So anyway, that's what these shirts support black business, right? You know, because if she would have said nothing, not saying that it would or wouldn't, but I would say I would put down a 80%, 90% chance that she's living today. She made it past and made it home that night. We got to know the enemy. We know they're fearful. We know that they're, you know, even if it's not, because it's not just white people who just cops is like this. There's some black ones too. Let's not get it twisted. And I think it becomes more, there's a lot of whiteness in some of that hate, but then there's a lot of control. So you got white, hate, and control. That's like a poison cocktail. And don't let it be a person with a chip on their shoulder from, you know, getting beat up in school or whatever. But anyway, if she just said nothing, that's what these shirts do. These shirts don't, nothing comes out of your mouth they just say support Black business. People see it, they be like thumbs up, they shake their head like, yeah. And it's subliminal because we need to get people to understand we're just Black business owners, right? We're just like white business owners, Jewish business owners, Hispanic business owners, and we're just trying to, you know, we chose to go into the business side, you know, then going to the professional side. Some of us came out of the professional side and went to the business side. Some of us business owners are going to the professional side. But most of us, we care about our community just like you do, or just like other ethnicities. We care about our communities. We want to give back. We want to help the kids. We want to raise everybody up. Anyway, that's what these shirts do. So you can go to bfhsnetwork.com/shop BFHS. It's a tab in the top, and I'm gonna put t-shirts on it so people know. But yeah, the link's in the description of this video too. Anyway, y'all, thanks for looking. Thanks for checking us out. blackfolkhotspots.com. blackfolkhotspots.com. Links in the description, right? And to create your profile for your business so we can shout you out, blast you out to our network of over 250,000 people. Peace.